In this video, I'm going to get started on looking at the layout of the house plan, and I'll start to kind of map out where the rooms are so that I know where walls are going to be. So I'm in the file, I've got the grid drawn, I've already generated all the layers that I need. One recommendation that I have for you at this point is to lock the layer that's called X grid. You can see when I roll my cursor around here, you get the little lock symbol. And that's basically going to keep it from moving because you'll be editing a lot and trying to capture things in your selection set, and you don't want that grid to change. So in the layer pull down here, you can see that X grid is locked. All right, now I'm going to make my current layer layer 0 for a moment. And one thing that I'm going to do, and you don't necessarily need to do this, I want to be able to look at my diagram for the floor plan while I'm working here. So you could toggle between, where you have that image on another screen, or you could bring it into the file. The way to bring an image into the file, I'm going to type in here XREF. That is short for external reference. The XREF window will come up, and you can see here, this is the name of the current file that I'm in. But what I want to do is attach an image. So I'm going to click on this little arrow here and attach image. And then I'm going to look for the image. I made a screenshot of my house diagram, and I'm just clicking OK through all of these. And then it's going to ask me to specify an insertion point. And I'll click one point, and then, roughly I'm going to make it the same size as my grid. And there's my external reference. And I'll delete this from the file at some point, but it's kind of convenient to have this in the file while you're working. Okay, now why do we need this here? Because this will help us to kind of map out where the rooms are. So in my floor plan here, I have a series of courtyards in a kind of like checkerboard pattern, and the rooms kind of placed between them. The first thing I'm going to do is locate where the courtyards are. So right now I'm on layer 0, and that's fine. What I'm going to do is create a line across the grids in a diagonal to kind of block out the courtyards. One, I've got one over here, that's a 4x4 grid. And one down here, that is 3x4. And this one is a little bit more complicated in terms of the space, so I'll make 2 separate X's for that. I've got a 4x4 here. And a 2x2 here. All right, and the final one will be this one that's in the middle, and it is located right here. It's also a 4x4. Okay, so those are all the exterior spaces. And now what I'm going to do is switch my layer to the one called A wall full. And again, these X's will be erased at some point. And I'm going to start to block out. Now, these are the interior rooms. Okay, I've got a little vestibule right here. And my dining room here. Kitchen. And these are corridor spaces or hallway spaces. And from here, I'm going to make a kind of perimeter line that represents the exterior walls. So I'm going to use something called a polyline, which is basically a series of connected lines. PL is the shortcut for that. And I'm going around. This is going to be, these are going to be exterior walls. Okay. Obviously, you want to make sure your object snaps are set. I would suggest endpoint and intersection for this part. And since I have this interior courtyard, I'm also going to put an outline here because those are exterior walls. Okay, so it's a little confusing, maybe what you're looking at here, but once we start to get some additional architectural elements in there, hopefully things will be a little bit more clear. And just one final step for this part is, I can see I missed my grid here. I'm going to add some walls that represent where the interior walls are going to be. Some of them maybe I will leave open if it's pretty clear where they are. So I don't necessarily need to do all of them, but again, I'm just trying to kind of map out the overall arrangement of the plan. And then one final thing, I'll erase the interior rooms once I have the kind of walls blocked out. I'll leave some in there just for reference. I'll leave the courtyard exterior spaces. I'll get rid of these just to kind of eliminate some clutter. And one thing that I would recommend that you do if you haven't already, you'll notice that in my model space, I've turned off the grid. So this should be off. That way the grid for your plan kind of reads a little bit more clearly.